Thank you. We'll now be moving over to the next topic. That's the repentant Boko Haram and ISWAP, their fate. Just recently, the Nigerian army, they said another 186 members of the Islamic State West African province, that ISWAP and Boko Haram, have surrendered to Nigerian troops. The army spokesman, Onyema Nwachukwu, the brigadier, disclosed this in a statement on Monday. He said the army had at least about 4 previous occasions where these terrorists actually repented and also embraced peace, and this, according to them, about 2,122 or more than that has so far come out to surrender. But the question now is, Barrister Chime, the question now is, should these people be prosecuted for their crimes, or they should just be forgiven?
Thank you so much. I think it is very simple.
Yeah.
Boko Haram, a terrorist organization across the world, is an organized crime,
okay,
with their consequences. So there shouldn't be a debate as to whether Boko Haram members should be prosecuted and punished according to the extant law we have in the country. It is immaterial that they decided to lay down their arms.
Yes.
Perhaps they are tired and they shouldn't be given a state welcome and integrated into the society. It's going to spell doom for the entire fight against terrorism. Because if that is allowed to happen, it means that even those who have been convicted and currently serving their jail term should also be released. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. But the point is that, are we winning the war against Boko Haram? Because if the government quickly assimilate these people and integrate them into society, it sends a dangerous signal that we are losing the war. What it simply means is that we are at the beck and call of these criminals. So there shouldn't be argument. It is they should be, yes, they have surrendered, but the only point I will make is that perhaps for purposes of encouraging those who want to lay down their arms, there should be some considerations in terms of punishment that will be meted to them. But to absolutely allow them to continue to roam the streets on the guise that they have repented, how do you quantify repentance? We are not, even the devil knows it's not the thought of man. So you cannot say because someone came out and say, I'm laying down my arms, and they welcome you with both hands. How do you think that our soldiers in the battlefield, how do you think they are going to receive this news? Some of them have been killed, paralyzed, demonized, and you see them walking freely in the society. I do not think that should be allowed to happen. They should be prosecuted and punished accordingly.
Okay, but Barrister Evie, the reason why I asked this question is that, even stakeholders from that area, particularly Borno, for example, the Shehu of Borno said that they are in a difficult time, just like the governor also agreed to that. But they are not looking at that whether this guy should be reintegrated into the system, because they are still afraid, But the thing there is, looking at all the stakeholders, Alain Dume on his side was saying the same thing. The Arewa Consultative Forum, the chairman, Audu Be, the former minister of Agri, also said that these people should be prosecuted. But what is our law? What is the stand of our law about this? Is there a provision of the law that says that people should not be tried after they have committed crime?
Well, when it comes to the issue of law, there are 2 angles from which you can look at it. For example, Section 175 of the Constitution gives the president the power to pardon people
yes,
for offences. A lot of people are using that section as a basis for the grant of amnesty. I'm sure, I recall during the Niger Delta struggle, the argument was also out there as to whether or not the president even has the power to grant amnesty under that section. And my personal view on that section is that the president does not have the power to grant amnesty under that section. That section contemplates pardon. And you don't pardon people until they are convicted, until they are, you can, and then the section clearly, like my friend was saying, in terms of what kind of punishment should be meted out, the section says you can consider the kind of punishment to be meted out, but it is pardon. And you know, the kind of amnesty they are doing now, I don't understand it. Because first, if you want to even grant, assuming you can even grant amnesty, what are their names? Is there a gazette that details the names of these people, the offenses that they have committed, the communities we have? So I mean, for posterity, we don't know who these people are now. Tomorrow they can be out there, they can go and join bandits. Some are graduating now from Boko Haram struggle to banditry, where that's very lucrative. You know, Boko Haram is more like an ideological fight that might not give you money. But the banditry one aspect of it is not giving people money. They are migrating to that side. And so how do you measure the kind? So at the end of the day, you know, the Constitution, in my view, does not empower the president or any other person to grant people amnesty. You know, the Constitution allows the president to grant pardon, and you cannot pardon. Look at the Constitution. The Constitution says everybody is innocent until proven guilty. How can you be granting amnesty to somebody that has not been proven guilty? Okay. It is contradictory, you know. And if you are looking at the Constitution from a very broad perspective, you know, this whole idea, this whole concept of amnesty, the way they are going about it is really a joke, I must tell you. The other aspect from which you can look at it is, the Attorney General or the government, either at the state or the federal government level, has the power to decide who to prosecute for offenses, and all of that. But again, you know, they will have to have a clear documentation. There has to be a process. You know, the communities will have to heal. You can't just, you know, I saw these people kill my parents yesterday, kill your siblings, and then tomorrow they are back to the community. Nothing has happened to them. Their family as usual. They are roaming. They are even wearing fine clothes. You know, when they come, you know, that's one of the interesting things about this country. As they are coming, you wear them fine clothes. Even when Chibok girls or whoever is kidnapped, they are coming. As if these things are arranged. It doesn't sound well for the country. It just, you know, this is a culture of impunity. It's a culture of impunity. You know, these people should be profiled. They should be, you know, tried. You can set up a special commission, right, to try them. Now, those who came out, you know, in the spirit of giving up the struggle, you can consider reducing their sentences. You can, you know, you can do that. Maybe again based on
those who came out, or those who came out with harms, because most of these people, they came out with their children, with their wives.
No, I'm talking about those who were involved in the struggle.
Okay.
And their wives were, you know, they were even captured. You saw the girl that was captured that had 2 kids.
Okay.
And those you're not going to prosecute that one. You know, of course you're going to prosecute those that have, you know, have clear evidence of being involved in the struggle.
Okay.
Now these people, you set up a special commission, try them and sentence them. If, for example, they were supposed to go to life imprisonment or whatever, you can give them a few years because they came out. You know, you can. That will serve as a deterrent to others, because this culture of impunity, where people can just be pardoned, they can be granted amnesty. This is not a political struggle. Look at amnesty globally or internationally. It is a political tool to pardon people who have, you know, fairly tried for political reasons. What is their political reason? Oh, they say they are poor. So everybody is poor in this country. If you really look at how many poor are rich in this country, so we all should take up arms and justify that, and based on that, be asking for amnesty. I mean, this is really sad.
Okay, maybe before you add to you take it together. Amnesty, when granted to the Niger Delta militants, most of them, they dropped arms. You saw the sophisticated arms that they brought, and they tabled it. And but these people, they are just coming out. They are not coming out with arms. Does that qualify them for that amnesty that we talked about? Although your friend talked about pardon. Does that qualify them? Not bringing out arms, just coming out?
Well, I will look at it from the nature of the crime.
Okay.
The terrorism, under the Terrorism Act, terrorism is a capital offense,
okay,
which has a mandatory sentence. Of course, anybody found guilty of terrorism, court is bound to convict the person as provided by the law. There is no allowance for the court to exercise discretion.
Okay.
So, armed with this position of the law, instead of granting amnesty or pardon, of course, like my learned friend said, you cannot pardon someone who has not been convicted. The federal government, in the spirit of encouraging those or others who wish to, you know, surrender the struggle, they could enter into a plea bargain. Plea bargain can operate in any aspect of criminality, in a sense that, okay, having come out, and of course, if they also volunteer to give further information to our security agencies how to capture the remaining adamant ones, that will also tilt in their favor to the point state that government will begin to look at, okay, we will not charge you for terrorism, given what the law has provided has a mandatory sentence. Okay, we'll try to give other charges that will give the judge the liberty to give you a lesser sentence. I think that could fly. So there's no comparison between terrorism and amnesty. Of course, during that amnesty struggle, there was no terrorism. Nigeria never envisaged that we'll get to this point. So, but we have to show that we are serious about this fight. Look at what is happening in Afghanistan. And if you look at the terrorism index, Nigeria is number 3, and Afghanistan is totally lost. So we have to be conscious of our decisions, especially from these ones who have voluntarily come out. Yeah, the government can leverage on that, elicit some information, and then enter into a plea bargain with them in order to give them a lesser sentence. But to insist that these people should be applauded, reintegrated, and appreciated for killing our brothers and sisters, that is a posterous, in my view.
Okay, according to them, they have gone through this military de-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. There's about, I think last year, about 600 and something graduated from that program, and they have been reintegrated into the system. But the thing is, forgiving these people and not prosecuting them, like just an IDP person said, a displaced person, he was saying that he has left his community for 7 years. He has lost his brother, and seeing that person alone that killed this person, how will he feel? How do you think this can be treated to make it fair to all parties?
It is absolutely not right to bring these people so soon into the communities. Like my other friend said, we can have an arrangement to get these people convicted, but give them lesser sentence. And then even if you want to give pardon, because the president, even if you convict them for the capital offense, so the Terrorism Act and whatever act that you want to convict them on, the president has the power to pardon by reducing the sentence that has been passed on you. So you can explore all of that. But to totally say they should come back to the communities and begin to cohabit with people they killed, their loved ones, the communities, the farms, the farmland, houses that were destroyed, I don't think that is going to work. Again, like I said, given the special nature of the situation, I can understand the challenge of the government. Government appears not to have the requisite capacity to completely liquidate these people and take them out of the way. And in fact, some of them are even happy, which is shocking. They are even happy that these people are coming out and this whole thing might end. But what if it's just a strategy? In the past we heard that some of them would now be drafted into the army and all of that. We are putting the country at a great risk. And to be fair to the people of the communities, what I would have expected is that we'll set up, by law, a special tribunal, where members of the commission will be allowed to ventilate their, just talking about the horrors of what you felt can make you feel better. Let them come, give evidence against these people, and then you can have a special arrangement for sentencing, for pardon, however you want to do it, plea bargaining and all of that. Let the people of the community see that the people who ravaged them are being punished.
That's it.
If you don't, some military officers have been killed or have been sentenced to death for whatever offenses related to this fight. Some are in jail right now. Some have lost their jobs, and these people will be watching, us, giving these guys a feast, rolling out the drums to celebrate them. That's not fair to anybody.
Wow. We just hope that government will do the right thing, particularly listening to the stakeholders from that region.